So this is Parshas Parah. What I have here? Oh, Parshas Parah, like which is this Shabbos, correct? This Shabbos is Parshas Parah. Should be. Okay, it's a different Parsha, but let's begin. Viidber Moishe, Moishe, this is the Chukah, the statute of the Torah that Hashem commanded us. So Leimer, meaning Moshe should convey this to the Eden and tell them, they should bring unto you the Paradum, etc. It's known the Shaila from Rabbi Mara, Shema Imri, based upon Mavaya. Why does it say 2 times in the Pasuk Hashem's name? Oh, that's also Kiflish Medaik Belekot Torah. Okay, that's the first question. And then it could have said Hashem speaking. We're giving over. So the Medrash says in Parshas Bo as follows. The Pasuk says, David Melech says, may my heart be wholesome in your statutes. What's he referring to? He says the Medrash Chukas Pesach and Chukas Paradum. What are your statutes? Pesach and Paradum. Lama. Why is he referring to these two? Because both are similar. Why are they similar? The word Chukah is mentioned in respect to the Pesach. In this one, the Paradum, the word Chukah is mentioned as well. Therefore, when he says Chukecha, he means both. Continues the Medrash, we don't know, and you don't know which Chukah is greater than the other. So how do we resolve our doubt? The Medrash continues. Moshel based is similar to 2 matrons, 2 noble women, and they're walking together. Stay in ka'achas together. They appear equal, the 2 matrons. So which one is greater? Who's serving who? You'll see, you observe, and you see, the one who her friend will accompany her to her house, and goes after her, she's secondary to the primary one. So likewise, we resolve our quandary. So externally, they seem the same. Korban Pesach says, there's Chukas. What does it about Korban Pesach? Chukas Pesach. But Poranema Bachukah and Poran says there's Chukas HaTorah. Umi Godla, Migdala, which is greater? The answer is Hapora. Sha'eichli HaPesach tzrichin lo. Because those who eat the Korban Pesach need her. Shenema, the lokol atome afar sefes achatos. So the impure person has to be sprinkled from the Korban Chatos. So since the Oichlei HaPesach need her, they have the fit. When the matron is walking, so the one who is serving her is no. The Medrash is saying Oisa shechavet melava Oisa. It seems to me the Medrash is saying the one that accompanies the matron and who is serving her, which is this matron needs this person, so the one who is serving is the greater one. So too, Korban Pesach, in order to be able to do it, needs to be served by the Parah, so Parah is greater. You follow? It's not that I was saying before. It's the one who is accompanying, which means that the one that's coming home can't be without the one that's accompanying her. She is really the greater one. So you have to understand this whole discussion. They're both great. But the part is greater still. If you those who eat the Korban Pesach need to be purified and need to be sprinkled with ashes, the paraduma, you have to understand the whole lineage. Yeah? Okay. So we'll first understand all this by prefacing what it says in this parsha Vayakal. So Vayakal, as we all know, is a summary of and the tally of all that was donated to the Mishkan and how it was actually built. So Moishe Rabbeinu says, you shouldn't light a fire in all your dwelling places on Shabbos. A prohibition to light a fire on Shabbos. When they move and start understood, what's it doing there altogether? In the middle of the whole union of the Mishkan, because from here we know Lamates Malachas. When they move and Shalayim and Shabbos also b'cholam malachas. Shabbos you can't do any malacha. Not only lighting a fire. Why is kindling a fire prohibited, singled out more than any other malachas? In his commentary Masechta Shabbos says in brackets, in addition to the Gemara brings two opinions, and Rashi brings them. So Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Nosson in the Gemara. Just to briefly remind you, Rashi doesn't bring the authors. I don't know. Rashi just says, why does the Torah single out kindling a fire? So Rabbi Yosi says, the lav yotzas. The Torah is singling out that all the other melachas are capital offense. But kindling a fire is less. It's only a regular lav, a regular loisa sefer, which there's malchus. That's Rabbi Yosi. Rabbi Nosson says lachalik yotzas, meaning that I would have thought that if a person behela mechad, he forgot that it was Shabbos, for example, or he forgot that these melachas are osir on Shabbos and did many at one time. I would think he brings one korban chatas for all of them. By singling out one of the melachas, we're told, no, you treat them all independently. So if in one helem, one lack of awareness, either that today is Shabbos or that these melachas are osir, he did many melachas, he brings a korban chatas of every different category. So the Torah singles out one to say it's treated singly. So these in brackets, these are the answers given in Gemara. But now, B'Pnimi Yisayin Yonim, the Shalom explains why Leisevarda Eish is singled out. Yeah? He answers, the Niklolis, this is the Shalom. Shnei Luchis Abris. Din Niklolis Habri and Yisava B'Bechinas Klal B'Yim Rishon. Creation took place. Initially, it's a whole evolution from klal to prat. It's not just creation. The Torah also works the same way. Everything does. Everything devolves and descends from a klal to detail. And that detail itself is a klal relative to lower levels of contraction and constriction and limitation. And so the process continues. So it begins with what? The general klal b'yim rishon, that all was created in a nebulous state on the first day, in a potential state, all matter. I think I told you about this. There's a book that was written, it's called the Bible Unauthorized. You know about this book? It's called the Bible Unauthorized. It's as contrast to the authorized, it came out in 1943. I had a copy, and it's worth going on Amazon to get it. All the true text of the Bible, and it's written by H.M. Moose, which is pseudonym. His name was Hirschel somebody, and it was all kinds of, I remember his kids who wrote it. It turns out that it wasn't the Rebbe that wrote it, but the Rebbe had a hand in it. That's clear. And basically, it's a new translation. It's incredible. A new translation, based on the diak of the words. They're completely, all the Bible criticism, which was popular then, refutes it all simply by translating the Torah without addressing their issues. But there's proper translation, and it's scientific, at least in the language of the science of 1943. It's really an amazing work. And at the end of it, there's a whole essay linking the Aseres HaDibros with Aseres HaMemoros, and showing how each commandment is reflected in the creation of that day. And he explains this, all based on the precise language, Havayit Elikim and Bara, that in the first moment of creation was a blinding explosion of creation, where all of matter is created in this swirling mass, unarticulated. That's how Rashi Pashat. It was all there, Bereshis. Then each day, God separates and things are articulated and are created. But he explains it all in the words there. That's what the Shalah is saying. It all starts with Chachma. Chachma, and the Kudas HaChachma, everything is there. Asar HaMemoros, the first one is Chachma. And then Bina, Chach, and the Das, it all is articulated. It's worth getting that book. I used to give it out. I mean, starting out on Shlichus, there were very few English books available back in 1980. Very few for someone a searching person. So one of the books I used to give was this, the Trotsky's, this book unauthorized from intellectuals, and then there was Branover came out with his story. It was not a lot of stuff. Think Jewish by Zalman Posner, not a lot. Thank God today you can become a Baki B'Shas without knowing a word of English, and a Baki in Medrash and a Baki in Chassidus. That should be. I thought it's a Mayonis. Okay, continuing. So everything was created in the B'chinas Klal B'Yom Rishon. Shemiyim Rishon, Hoysi Yisav, Shemayim Barat V'chal Tzvam, but that Klal on the first day was the creation of heaven and earth and all of their hosts in this unarticulated, non-differentiated way, but all in potential, the raw matter. This statement, what was the first of the 10 Maimoris? Let there be light. So nichelu by kolam hamora is this incorporated already, contains within it in potential all the subsequent Maimoris. In brackets, this is reflected in Taka the Svidus. Chachma contains within it in potential all of the Svidus that emerge from it. Therefore, I mean, on a simple level, may there be revelation. That's where it all starts. Otherness, revelation, implicit in all of that is otherness, which is the whole big critical chiddush. From atzmos to oir. So b'Shabbos, Shabbos, we have to rest from all lamates malachas. All the malachas are all about the creation. That's the point on Shabbos, not to be creative. All the malachas are man's creative manipulation of creation. So we are to resist that. So it's all of creation that came as a result of the 10 Maimoros. We are not to tamper with that. So the first one that we are to withdraw from, shvisa, rest, is from fire. Because that's oir, that's light. That parallels the very first commandment, the fire, the light, Klolos Maimoros, the general Maimoros which follow. The Yalkin, and therefore explains the Shalah. She shouldn't kindle a fire. It's really saying no malacha, because all the malachas because creating fire that incorporates all ma'aseh bereshis. Okay, that's b'cholos. Now b'prati is clear. Gimel lahavin zeyin bein bekiyoser. To understand this deep v'gam lahavin nayin b'avedes adam. To understand this in avodah. Hindiksiv, the pasuk says, "Ki avay lekecha eish eichlahu." Hashem, your Lord, is a consuming fire. Bechinas avay lekecha. At the level of avay lekecha, the prati is yosin in more detail. Not just avay, but avay lekecha. Lekecha, your God, your koyach. Lekim means koyach, means power. As many translations, one of them is power. Your koyach and your life force. This is because as it's drawn down and descends to be invested in creation. So nimshal eish, the pasuk says it's compared to fire. Why? Fire is different to the other elements, but kachin is much. The nature of fire is to ascend. So the atzmin is shaykh. The b'chinas hamatan itself is not shaykh to be down here. It's got to be tethered to the wick, as it were. Because we're learning now in Tanya, which is finished, it seeks to escape the wick. And this is what he means. That Hashem is a consuming fire. Just like fire seeks to ascend. And it's separate from the mata. Also too above. Meaning, we should know that not the main, Lashon I've had many times, that the main elikus is not, to define God, is not as a creator. This is not what the Eibush is about, that is a creator. Something is descended to do, but it's not him. The emes says elikus is completely beyond creation. And that level of godliness which does descend, it's be'emes eish. We should know it's a yirida. And that which elikus to the whole tzimtzum comes down and creates creation. It's considered common words. As the Zohar says, it's not the way of the king to use common language. And if he does, it's an exception and not expressive of him. So too, creation, that's not who God is, a creator. It's what he chose to do. He descended onto the plane of creation. But it's a million relative to David himself to Likus. Because the Likus is completely separate from Oilimus. We'll just do the next few words, next few lines. So what did he say now on this eyes? He brought it's all to explain why the Torah singles out by Sevadu Eish. And the Shalosh said, because Sevadu Eish, which is parallels the first of the Asar HaModis, that's what all the malachas are all about. Not to manipulate, to tamper with creation that's a product of the Asar HaModis, which begin with what? And therefore the Torah singles out Eish, as if they say don't do any malacha. But it's all encapsulated in the first. It addresses it at its core issue. Now he's explaining what does this mean in Avodah and Mobaprotius, introducing the pasuk Yavai Lakecha Eish Eichlahu. So why the union of Eish? Because the nature of fire is that even when it's down here, it's not down here. It's seeking to escape. It's pointing constantly upwards. Meaning that even as he's going to explain Mobaprotius, even the level of likus that's invested and tailored in creation contains fundamentally the property of, I'm not a creator. I'm creating this, but that's not what I am. And that's what you need to reveal in creation. The Avodah is not that to reveal that there's a creator, live in harmony with a wonderful creator, with nature. That's not the Avodah. The Avodah is to reveal in creation that the Eibush is beyond it, and to reveal that, elikus, in creation. So we'll see Beprotius Be'ez Hashem tomorrow. Okay.